Good morning. Today is April 12th, and I just dropped my son off at work and came for a drive to one of my favorite parks. I am really doing some deep reflection. I've been doing it a lot. Well, I've been doing it a lot for like 19 years, I guess. I'm working on this online workshop, and every video I go deeper and deeper into some story, some pattern. But also, I feel like the best way for us to heal the stories that we believe to be true. I don't know if heal is even the best word, but like I guess what I'm trying to say is the best way for us to start to see the truth instead of believing the untrue stories that we tell ourselves all the time, that we were programmed to believe through our childhood and growing up, is to really sit in the moment with the truth, which is what is happening right here in this moment. And I call it the Divine Mother and Father. You don't have to. We all get to choose our own words for it. But it's that expression of God. It's the embodiment of love and joy and peace and truth. And yes, I believe the Bible has been rewritten a number of times by men. I believe that there's a whole feminine element of the Bible missing because women were not involved in the writing of the Bible, which is actually quite a disservice for us. But that's what we have, and that's what was written, because in those days, women's opinions were not respected at all. But yet there's a lot of beauty in the Bible. And when we go back to the words, what we continue to hear is that we are safe, that we are safe, that we are loved, that everything is working out for us, to have faith. I mean, over 365 times in the Bible, it says some version of fear not believe. Yet we're fearing all the time. And so that's where I've set up the work that I do. And I don't have clients right now, but I have been doing it on my own for, like I said, 19 years since I started, since I found energy medicine. And I would say that getting cancer multiple times has been the biggest piece of my healing, actually. So anyway, what I'm trying to share is like how important it is to really reflect on the patterns, but to know that the best way to dissolve those patterns and live from truth is to be in the moment with what is. Putting your hand on your heart, breathing into this moment, beginning to feel the emotional pain that shows up, and starting to listen to the thoughts that are showing up, because your thoughts are what generate your emotions, and your thoughts come from the stories that you believe to be true. I believe they're written on all the receptors in our cells. Am I right? I don't fucking know. I don't think I have to be. I'm not trying to be right, but what I do know is that our world, our life, is being projected by the stories that we continue to speak. And if we begin to speak new stories, will we see a new life? Will we see a new world? Well, there are many experts out there that tell us that we will. Joe Dispenza is one. Bruce Lipton is one. I've been listening and fucking marinating in Neville Goddard. I love his message. He's another one. I believe that's what Jesus was here to tell us. I believe that's what Buddha was here to tell us. And so I've been putting this into practice because I believe it's true, but I don't 1,000% believe it's true, because I still have beliefs. But I am now committing, and I guess I'm going to state this to you. I am committing right now to do everything possible to see if this is true, because I've been noticing in the last few months that I continue to see the worst case scenario. And I really started to dive into that. Like, okay, why am I doing this? That is crazy. If these are the prayers that we're sending off to God, these are some pretty fucked up prayers. If I'm always thinking about the worst case scenario, I'm obviously not praying for it. But when you're thinking about it, does God know the difference between your prayers and your fears? I don't think so. Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying God is stupid. I'm saying that we are put on this planet to become the love and the joy and the peace and the truth. We are put on this planet to create abundance and love in our lives. And so us reflecting on the words that we speak and the thoughts that we think is us shifting to a new vibration where we then become more of what God is, so we can create more from that space. And if we're speaking the worst case scenarios all the time, that is a state of worry. And when we're in a state of worry, we actually have our backs turned on the divine, because we're trying to do it on our own. You know, we're suffering. We're suffering because we're not in the state of full faith. And that is where the divine wants us. That's why they keep saying it in the Bible. I would imagine if the feminine energy, like let's say Mary Magdalene would have shared her story and wrote about Jesus from her perspective, and they chose all of these beautiful women through the Bible to speak from their perspective, I would imagine that there would be a lot of beauty. There is a lot of beauty in the Bible, but I'm just saying that I've always felt like the feminine reflection was always missing, because we need the masculine and the feminine. Why wouldn't we? I see the divine as a loving mother and a loving father. Why wouldn't we? So anyway, what I'm trying to say is keep rehearsing the best case scenario. Every time you start to go into the worst case scenario, pull yourself to the best case scenario. Not in a sense of you have to create life that way, because then there's attachment. And so then if life doesn't show up that way, you're going to be like, oh, this doesn't work. And oh boy, like, I failed again. No, it's not that. It's like, okay, I'm either going to feel like shit, worrying, trying to do this on my own, feeling separate from God, or I'm going to start to stay in the moment and feel held by God and know that I am co-creating my existence, and let's see what miracles can show up next. This is really where I'm starting to live. And I'm really recognizing it, because there are people in my life that pull me out of my peace. And I am noticing my reactions becoming less based in fear, less based in anger, less based in separation, and more in just breathing into the moment, getting through, the difficult conversation or situation or whatever it is, but encouraging myself, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Stay here in this moment. Where, years ago, when I would have confrontations with people or conflict or whatever it was, I would lay in bed and pray to die. That's how overwhelmed I was. That's how, stressed out I was. That's how mentally not healthy I was, is that I would pray to die instead of seeing that everything is working out. Everything has worked out. Everything is working out. Everything will work out. No, it's not going to work out how we want it all the time, but it's how the divine needs it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening. So that's my little spiel of the day.